Alrighty then, I think I'm finally ready. Today we are going to focus on some new products, specifically some new products from Ravie Beauty. This is Allie Glein's brand. She is a content creator here on YouTube, one of the very first creators that I ever started watching, and I love her makeup style. I've learned a lot from her. She recently released 3 blushes and they are beautiful. I've been trying and testing all 3 of these blushes, so I'm going to be trying on one of those for you today. She also recently released 3 more lipstick shades. This is her Effortless Lips line. Some very beautiful colors, so today I'm going to be putting one of these on as well. So while we have kind of a brand focus on Allie, I wanted to put a whole face of makeup on because I have some other new to me products as well that I wanted to demo for you all today. And as usual, I like to highlight either a skincare or fragrance product that I enjoy. This is my second full-size bottle that I've purchased of the Tower 28 SOS spray. And I use this every time I wash my face, in the morning after I wash my face, before I do anything else. After I towel dry, I spray this on my face, then put my lip balm on. And then in the evening, after I remove my makeup and wash my face, before I put my moisturizer on, I spray this. So to me, it just brings back some just nourishment to my face. Even though my cleanser doesn't seem like it dries my face out, this just feels so refreshing. And you can also use this after a workout when you feel like your face is kind of dried out from sweating. You can use it after a long day in the sun and after a good cry. You know, so how sometimes after you cry, your face feels kind of dry and it kind of stings a little bit. This would be refreshing after a good cry too. So you might want to put this with the chocolate and the wine and the chips with the little PMS kit, Tower 28 spray too. Let's get started with our makeup look today. For eye primer, I'm going to use the Ravie Beauty. And for some people, this is their very favorite primer. Me personally, I've struggled with it. It dries super quick. And I found that if you use too much, it gets really patchy on the eyes and it just doesn't look good. For a long time, I was putting powder over this, but then I discovered that eyeshadows go over it better if you just let it dry, apply a small amount, and I've been really enjoying the eyeshadow application since I started using it that way. For face primer, Tatcha. This is the Silk Canvas in the liquid form. The very first primer I ever bought when I was starting my makeup collection was a Tatcha palette. You know what? That's not true. The very first one was an e.l.f. primer. I wanted to try something inexpensive just to see how I felt about primers in general, and I liked the e.l.f. primer, so I wanted to see if there was a different formula, and I did a lot of research, and at the time the Tatcha Compact was the one that everybody was recommending, so that was the very first primer I ever got. So then I decided to try the liquid formula, and I do enjoy this as well. For eyeshadow primer, I'd like to demonstrate the Makeup by Mario kit. This has a kind of banana shade and then 2 light peaches. So I take a concealer brush, and for this I use a denser one, so I'll use my Anissa brush, and I dip it back and forth into the light and the dark peach, and then I apply it just here in the tear trough. There have been days the last week that I haven't used any concealer. One day I got almost done with my complexion and I realized I hadn't put concealer on, and I didn't feel compelled to because I felt like This really brightened my eyes and just gave me a nice layer, a thin layer that didn't make me look older, didn't accentuate, however you say that word, my fine lines. So I feel like it just gives me a nice brightness under the eyes, and then I can use less concealer. This is a new foundation to me. This is the IT Cosmetics Nude Glow with an SPF of 40. This is in the shade light medium. It is light medium with kind of a cooler undertone, and I've wanted this ever since it came out, and it was recently on sale and I went for it. It's a thicker formula. It gives a robust medium coverage to the skin, and I use one pump for the whole face as I do with so many of my foundations. For foundation brush, I'm going to use the BK Beauty 101 brush. This and the Anissa foundation brush are my favorite brushes to apply foundation. This is a perfect skin match for me. At first, I was ordering too light, and then I went too deep, and I think finally I've figured out how to order the perfect foundation shade. Some things you just really have to go in store to check on. When it says Nude Glow, I would agree with that. It certainly doesn't look greasy or oily. It looks illuminating on my face. This is a thicker consistency, and so in the hot summer months here in Florida, I'm such a sweaty girl that I found that sometimes thicker foundations can make me sweat more. But on days that I need a sunscreen, more of a sunscreen than my daily moisturizer, which only has, I think, SPF 15 in it, I will use either this or my Too Faced foundation. The Too Faced foundation is a thinner consistency to this, and I feel like with these two, I think the Estee Lauder Double Wear also has sunscreen, if I'm not mistaken. So that would be, at this point, 3 different foundations that I have in my arsenal. It's the only word I can think of right now that I can use when I need a little bit of extra sun coverage. I also have some primers that have extra sunscreen in them. So if I'm anticipating maybe going for a walk in the afternoon, running errands, anything but just being in the office, then that's definitely what I will go for. So for concealer, we're going to use the Urban Decay Quickie Concealer. So this is a full coverage concealer, and I struggled with this for a few days before I found the right way to use it for me. And Magdalena Janet, I think, is the one that gave me the idea to try putting my concealer on and letting it dry while I apply different parts of my makeup. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I did this yesterday and it worked really well. Bronzer, the Rare Beauty, and this is in Happy Soul. This is a little bit of a warmer shade, but it works really good for me. I'm not going to put bronzer on my cheeks right now because I want to demonstrate that blush for you. So even though this is a warmer shade by Rare Beauty, I think that it still looks really good. I've had to be careful since I got my hair highlighted the last time. I've found that I've been getting my bronzer in my blonde hair. So I'm kind of being really careful with that. The Rare Beauty, it blends out easier than most stick bronzers. And again, the formula is nice and creamy. It feels really good, really just lightweight once you blend it out. It doesn't look patchy. I notice a lot of times when I see content creators, they don't blend their bronzer out and you see a brush spot here and a brush spot there. With the Rare Beauty, you just don't even have to think about that because it blends out so well. So that's the Rare Beauty in Happy Soul. So let's take our Anissa brush. I do like the BK Beauty concealer brush. Let's just go ahead and use it. I haven't demonstrated it on camera yet. So this is the A506. Got the little kitten paw. And let's start blending this concealer out. Now that it's had time to dry a little bit, I find that it stays here. It doesn't try to migrate all over my face. So I'm able to just blend it out. And I find that it really gets in here in this cavern really well too. Very full coverage, isn't it? But I don't feel like my under eyes look cakey. I don't feel like they look aged at all. And I really like this concealer. Now, as a final step to really blend it out really well, I'll take my sponge and just pat along the edges. I did put a little up on my upper eyelids as an experiment. I haven't tried the Rare Beauty with the Quickie Concealer on my upper eyelids yet, so I figured let's just do that today. Do we have all of our liquids? Yes, we do. So my all-time favorite powder, Huda Beauty. This is in the shade Pound Cake. It has this mesh. I turn it upside down, tap on this a couple of times, get about that much out in the top. I take my Blend Beauty puff, put my fingers in like that. I dab and get most of that out. And I rub it on my hand and then pat, pat, pat under my eyes. I do around the center of my face. Can you see that difference? Pretty dramatic. Go in with a little more. Tap, tap, tap again. Get our sponge. Rub it on our hand. Tap, tap, tap. I want to be very mattified in the center of my face, but I don't want to be thick and cakey. So, very nice. There's some left over in the cap. I will take a small fluffy brush. This is a Zoeva brush. Get the rest of that. Fortify some of these areas that tend to get really sweaty and shiny. All right. Center of the face is powdered down. This will last all day. Very nice. So for powder for the rest of the face, let's use our NARS powder. This is a little bit darker, so I'm going to prefer this more in the summertime, but still pretty sunny out here. And I'm going to powder down the perimeter of my face. The glowiness from the foundation will come back through once this kind of all melts on my face. That NARS powder is very light and airy and doesn't bring a lot of weight to the face, which is nice. Let's go ahead and get the eyebrows spruced up. I'm going to use my Anastasia clear brow gel just to run through these. And we're on to blush. So I just wanted to show you these colors. I don't do a lot of swatching in my makeup because this is a hobby for me. It's not a business, and I like to keep my makeup in really pristine condition. But this is the shade Oasis, which I'll be demonstrating today. Let me open this one up. This one is in the shade Paradise. I want to compare these to the Hourglass, the Kosas, the Milani, and just see how the formula is. This is in the shade Daydream. I've used all of these shades at least 2 times so that I have my full thoughts. These 2 lighter colors, they have, I would say, a medium coverage. So they're going to give you plenty of pigment, especially if you have lighter skin, but they're not going to overwhelm you. So I think that these would be good for beginners. This pink color, I think, is formulated with dark skinned people in mind, which I really appreciate, but it can be used by fairer skinned people. The first time I ever used this blush, I had to use this color and I went in way too deep. I figured this was going to be lightly pigmented. So I'm literally going to tap 1 time and you'll be able to see how much pigment I am able to get. Normally I use a cream blush and reinforce with a powder blush, but today, so that you can truly see the beauty of this formula, I'm only going to use the powder. So it's a glowy blush, and this is really highly pigmented. Again, 1 tap. Start right here where this bone kind of starts, dab, circle up to the temple area. Bring the face together by doing that number. I think these blushes are beautiful. The packaging is plastic, but it's substantial. It feels luxurious to me. I like the simple, elegant aesthetic of her products. So I'm so glad I got this. And I wanted to start from the bottom up with her brand. I got the first 3 lipsticks that she released and the makeup bag. And then I got the second 3 lipsticks. And then these came out and I got these. These also came out with a blush brush, but I'm super happy with my blush brush and I didn't feel like I needed another one. So congratulations, Allie. You don't even know who I am, but congratulations anyways. So for powder bronzer, I'm going to use the NARS. This is another new bronzer to me. This is not new on the market, but it is new to me. This is Laguna 01. This is iconic, legendary, most popular bronzer of all time. I think the drugstore equivalent would be Physicians Formula probably. And this is very pigmented. This does have the tendency to kind of create little brush circles. So I kind of sweep it across my face first. And then I use circle motions so that I don't get those dab, dab, dab marks on my face from it, so that it's nice and blended out. I'll just come down here a little bit with whatever's left over. So yeah, the NARS blushes definitely legendary for a reason, very well deserved reason. So for lips, I'm going to use the MAC lip liner. This is Edge to Edge That is the shade of this. It's a cool pink, just a little bit darker than my lips. MACs are some of my favorite lip liners. We're going to use one of Allie's lipsticks, and I think that I'm going to settle on Tulip. I changed my mind. I want to try Peony today. Again, I've used all of these. This is what the shade Peony looks like. I think that'll look nice. We're doing a little bit more of a dramatic eye look today. I totally forgot to use my highlighter. I don't use highlighters a lot, but lately I have been making more of an effort to use what's in my collection. And this is the Pat McGrath highlighter. I like to use this Morphe and Ariel brush. Kind of looks like that. I literally sweep this one time and then in a C shape right here and under my eyebrow. One time, C shape, and then little on the tip of the nose. So I like that highlighter. For our eyeshadow look today, I wanted to use a Natasha Denona mini palette. This is the Mini Love palette. I thought that this would kind of match my outfit pretty well today. So let's find a suitable brush. We're going to use a Rephr 27, and we're going to go into this purple color right here. Going to tap off, going to get rid of any creases, and I can tell already it was a bad move to put the Urban Decay Quickie concealer up here, because whenever I just use the Rare Beauty, I don't even have to wipe any creases out. But I do see creasing today, so I'm hoping that my eyeshadow does not crease. Again, we're going to go in with this color. My bad. User error. And I found that a lot of times, instead of just immediately deciding a product doesn't work or that it's a bad product, sometimes we need to find the best way to bring that product's beauty out. Now, we shouldn't have to go move heaven and earth to do that. We should be able to find a simple way. So if we have tried several methods and those just don't work, well, maybe it isn't a good product. So Simple Eye today, I'm going to use this shimmer with my finger. Very pretty rose tone duochrome. And I'm going to put this all over the lid. Nice. Yeah. That's very pretty. There is a lighter shade I'm going to use as a spotlight moment here. Blend that out very nicely. Sometimes I do like more of a smoky moment, but as you can see, I am going to work. These are my scrubs of the day. So now we're going to take the darkest shade and use that as an eyeliner. That's this color right here. And since this is more intricate, I need my Dollar Tree mirror. See the difference? I don't know if you all watch Juicy Jazz here on YouTube. She's one of my very favorites, one of the first I ever started watching. And one thing that she's demonstrated and shown over and over is it's the little things that make a huge difference. All right, for the lower lash line, I need my itty bitty little brush that I can hardly ever find. There you are, little Estee Lauder brush I've had forever. And we're gonna go back into this light purple shade and run it right along the lower lash line. And again, subtle difference. Some people say they think that this kind of camouflages some of the wrinkles under their eyes. I think it adds some definition, and if it camouflages them, then that's fine with me. All right, eyeliner. I'm gonna use my Urban Decay 24/7 eyeliner in the shade Rockstar. This needs to be sharpened so badly. I still haven't found my nice, good quality sharpeners. Just tight lining the upper eye. I'm going to go off camera and do my brows and mascara, and I'll be right back. Okay, to finish up, let's use the Hourglass finishing powder, little bit of a denser brush. Again, here in the center of the face. For brows today, I used the Ulta brow pencil in taupe, the Glossier boy brow. I think this is in the shade Blonde. For my lower lash line, I used Ravie Beauty mascara because this just doesn't smear, smudge, that kind of stuff on the lower lash line, and it gives length. For the upper lash line, I used the One Coat Wow by Huda Beauty. This gives a lot of volume, but then I kind of go back over it with this a second time to give a little bit more length. For setting spray, I used the Rare Beauty Mist. And I don't think of this so much as a setting spray as just kind of finishing and melding everything together. I spray this, wait a few seconds, and then dab all over my face to make sure there's no harsh lines from my blush, my concealer, my bronzer, and I just feel like it gives an overall really finished look. Let's take the hair down. It's still wet, still have to do that, but you can kind of get an idea here. And I am ready to tackle the day now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I have a couple of new eyeshadow palettes that I'm going to review with a little bit of a twist. And so I hope that you enjoy that, and I hope that you all have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.